And we're live.
Live.
Damn. Not live,
Right
but
on cue.
live right now. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming. Got you that black coffee.
Thank you very much.
I hope, is it hot enough?
Yeah, and I'm going to preserve the heat by just
Okay.
leaving that cap on there like that.
Bro, I'm happy to meet you. Thank
Yeah,
you for
it's
pulling
dope.
up. I know it's a rainy, cold day. It was all types of traffic and everything, but you came out and I appreciate that. So I'm happy to have you here, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's cool.
So
Second time in Brooklyn.
Oh, really? When was your first time?
3 days ago? 4 days ago?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I had a photo shoot with a guy named Jack O'Connor. And
Okay.
my first time in Brooklyn.
Damn. Do you know where? Bushwick, probably?
No, not Bushwick, but we had a little view. And we could see, like, he was trying to point to, like, Williamsburg and Bushwick. And I got kind of lost. But it was cool.
So
I'll tell you this. It was kitty corner to this coffee shop called Bakery.
hitting?
Man. The guy from The Bear, Cousin Richie.
Oh, shit,
Saw
really?
him there.
No way. I was watching The Bear last night with my girlfriend.
Cousin Richie.
Yeah.
He was there with his daughter
Damn.
or some little girl. I don't know.
That's crazy. Okay, I told you a few seconds ago. Is there a little tidbit, a little story, a little something the world doesn't know about you from what's already out there? And you out there.
Yeah, like I told you, I'm pretty much an open book. But the world does not know that I have never been skiing or snowboarding.
Never.
Never in my life.
I feel like you'd be a good
Me too,
snowboarder,
right?
I feel like.
Okay.
Right?
I agree. Versus skiing, right? Like, I totally think I'd be better at snowboarding than
100%.
skiing. But all my friends on the East Coast, they're like, you got to learn to ski first because it's easier.
Pause. So you just never. You ever like roller skate or any of that?
I've roller skate. I like rollerbladed and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been
skate?
ice skating on a cruise one time when I was little. I know, weird place to like ice skate. And that was it. That was
Damn.
last time. Yeah, I never had the opportunity. I've always wanted to go
Interesting.
skiing or snowboarding, but
So there's some nice places not too far. I low-key, I've gone skiing like twice in my life, so we're like kind of in the same
Okay.
boat. But I will say like that's one thing as I get older, I'm jealous of like the people that do ski well.
so as you get older, you want to get into it?
Yes, because
Not like golf?
maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, I feel that.
But like skiing is so. I went with my friend like a year ago, and it's just not, like when you're on the I'm doing it like pizza. You know how they say the pizza shit?
Pizza French fry or pizza French fry.
French fry pizza, exactly. So when I'm just doing it like straight pizza down the whole way, so
Yeah.
it's like not as like exhilarating, but it's like a nice feeling to be out there. Like I feel like you would fuck with it.
I feel like I would too. And
Get active.
I was learning all about it, getting ready to do it. And then people that know me, I had shoulder surgery twice and wasn't able to. It happened right at the time where it was like basketball season was ending, was going into my off season, was looking forward to going skiing and snowboarding in like Vermont and couldn't do it. But one day,
100%.
it's gonna happen.
So you just moved here,
Just moved here. It's been almost 5 weeks.
and before you were living out
Chicago.
in Chicago, and then what made you move? Think like, all right, we're going to New York City.
So I was, after college,
Yeah.
I went overseas to play basketball professionally in Cyprus. And when I came back, I was in Chicago. And for a couple months, I was like, do I want to continue playing pro? Do I want to go back overseas, live that overseas life, that grind? Or do I want to take this content, social media world seriously, put my best foot forward in that regard, and go to either New York or LA? And I knew I couldn't stay in Chicago. I love Chicago, but like, it's different, you know? Like New York and Chicago is big, bro. It really is.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of friends in LA. I got a lot of friends in New York, but it came down to like, my friends in LA were all creator friends, like friends I met online, social media. And I got like real genuine relationships in New York, like people that have known me before the social media stuff. And that helped make the decision. And my agency's out here, my modeling agency's out here too. So
Who are you with agency-wise?
UTA.
Okay. Yeah.
And then modeling is Soul.
Gotcha.
That
So
light is blinding. Whoa.
so you went the real genuine friends way.
Yeah, I had to.
You're a real genuine guy.
family-oriented guy. Like,
100%.
I need that like sense of realness in my life.
Yeah. And I think, I mean,
Not that my relationships in LA are phony.
No, say it.
I mean, they're not, but like, you know, those people
Yeah,
only
I
know me
I know.
post, you know, tattoos, I like to call it.
Okay.
You know, they don't know Jimmy before like when I had like a buzz cut. They don't know that.
Right.
So it's just different, you know?
How have you liked it so far?
Best decision I ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you know?
Probably like after like the first 3 weeks when like I was nervous, I was anxious, I was excited, like everything all in one coming out here. And I knew like this was probably here, LA was the place to be,
Right.
like make stuff kind of happen and make stuff click and like really kind of gain that momentum. And it happened so fast. Like there really are a lot of opportunities that kind of just fall into your lap when you get out here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of that is like, you know, being new in town and like everything is fresh and exciting. But I mean, it's been working out thus far.
So, and you talked about it. I was watching the on your YouTube, the Sotos. I hit that subscribe, don't worry, and all the likes on all the shit I was watching.
I'm grinding on that right now, dog.
You got to.
Yeah, it's a long game.
It's a grind. But I was watching, I think it was like episode 1. You talked about how basketball basically for your whole life has been your identity. And I think, you know, and I've had a bunch of student athlete friends and also athlete friends that talk about that as well. And it's very real. For you, do you feel like you're in that transition area, or are you at peace with the end of your basketball career? How do you feel about that? Also because you played abroad, came back, now full-time content. Like how do you feel emotionally about where you're at?
Low key, it's been like beautiful. Like basketball is great, and like I love basketball and I appreciate everything it's ever done for me. And like I also love like being in the moment, being a ball player. But like, dude, there's a lot of stress that comes with that shit. And like, sorry, excuse my language.
No.
But like, I kind of get to take a back seat and just be like a casual fan of the game now. And like, it's honestly been dope. For the first time in my life, I get to watch all my homies. I get to enjoy their successes, and I get to be a part of their journey. Like, so I've thus far it's been great. And I'm sure like at some point it'll probably hit me a little bit harder. Like maybe when they all come home for the off season and we get back in the gym and they're a little bit sharper than I am. Like, but I mean, right now I really do enjoy where I'm at in life right now.
So how many years do you play at Ohio State?
2.
Okay. And you were where at before?
Bucknell.
And then you played 1 year abroad, a full season?
No, cut short by injury. And for people that don't know how that life is overseas, for rookies, especially in like mediocre level leagues where you're trying to like establish yourself and like kind of put up numbers and you know, fill a stat sheet. When you get hurt, especially like in the country I was in Cyprus, they won't pay you. And it'll be like, you know, like I'm over here not getting paid now. Like I could be back in the States, you know, really taking the social media. I'm taking meetings at like 1 a.m. because of the time difference, trying to like still stay on top of like the social media world and like, you know, keep content going. And it was tough, and it was a tough pill to swallow. So I thought the best decision for me was to come home, get healthy, and then make the decision do I want to go back. And honestly, like the injury bug bit the hell out of me. Like I tore my labrum twice. I got hurt when I was over in Cyprus, and you know, like I'm not making NBA money contracts where I can just keep just affording to get hurt. Like, so I had to just, you know, make a tough decision and decided to put the ball down.
Where were you at, like emotionally, when you're thinking, like, damn, is this?
At that time, it was tough, dude. At that time, it was tough because, like, again, my identity was a basketball player, and like when you can't play basketball, anytime you're hurt, like it just eats at you. And it's easy for people to be like, find ways to grow in other ways, you know? But like when you're a ball player and you can't play ball, that shit sucks.
So when did you started playing ball when you were a toddler?
4 years old.
Yeah. And when did you know that was like, I want to be
5 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, it came naturally to me. I got 3 older brothers who all played basketball.
Shit.
My dad played ball professionally. So
overseas or NBA?
Overseas.
Okay.
Just for a season. And I guess I really am just like my pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it was just natural. And like my brothers, they kind of like protected me in a sense. Like it was like, oh, we saw he was pretty good too. Like make sure he's staying on the right track. So
so going back to the social media thing, because I think I remember first seeing you somewhere on TikTok probably when you were at Ohio State. Were you doing the TikTok thing when you were at Bucknell? Or I think TikTok just came when you transferred?
Yeah, I started doing TikTok over COVID.
Right, I think, yeah.
Everybody was in the house bored and, you know, started dancing. And then when I got to Ohio State, it just took on a life of its own.
But wait, so because also you have like the personality for it. Like I'm sure you knew like, oh shit, this shit's kind of popping off. Like I could do it. Is that how it went, or you were just like, let me just make a couple of these dances, see how they do?
So I had a video kind of pop off over COVID.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is lit. Like, yo, I'm getting all these views.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll just post. Like, I'm not going to think about it. And then, like, there was no, like, intentionality behind it. And then, I stopped going viral. And then all of a sudden, I got to Ohio State, and a video went viral. And it was, like, a combination of me, like, dunking a ball and dancing.
Okay.
And it went viral. And I was like, all right, let me try and do the same thing tomorrow. And I did it, and that also went viral. And I was like, oh, there might be a little recipe here.
Right.
So then, like, I just started kind of giving the people what they wanted, and it just took on a life of its own.
And so this was during like what?
Yeah, this was
mid-COVID?
This was during COVID when there were no fans at games, and I wasn't even able to like realize the magnitude of what was happening around me because I couldn't go out, I couldn't expose myself to other people. I just kept seeing the follower count go up, and I'm still just with the same people in the same locker room every single day, not knowing really what's going on.
So wait, when you first start going like popping off, what are your teammates saying? Do they like they probably think it's jokes and fun?
Yeah, I mean, like it was, some people were like, bro, what you doing?
Yeah.
And some people were like, yo, let me get into TikTok, And honestly, like I got to give a lot of credit to my coach, Coach Holtman at the time, because it was TikTok at the time and just being a social media personality while also being a basketball player. Right. It was kind of frowned upon. It was like, bro, you're not taking your craft seriously. And like people that know me know, like I don't cheat the grind. Like I don't cheat the game ever. But like, what I'm gonna do? Play basketball for 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Like no. And I'm starting. And clout's a hell of a drug, dog. So like, people are DMing me now, and I'm like, whoa, like
the slides are coming.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. And to my coach's credit, he was realizing the opportunities that could be leveraged based on like gaining all these followers and like having all the success online. So he encouraged me, and he was like learning from me. So if you see my coach now, he's active on social media.
Interesting.
And it's really dope to see because like a lot of people saw what I was doing and they were like, he's a distraction in the locker room.
Right.
But if anything, it was almost like team bonding stuff we were doing.
Well, also I felt like there were probably more people watching because now like do you know what the viewership numbers were? Like did there was probably direct correlation.
If you look, I don't want to say like
the reason. Go on.
Because we also had 2 NBA players on the team, EJ and Malachi.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of characters on the team.
And y'all were a good team.
Yeah, we were nasty. Dwayne was also on the team too. He plays for the Knicks. Like we had a squad. So like, but like, there were like, we'd go on road games and there would be people outside waiting with signs of me. And like, bro, I wasn't even getting in the games. Like we'd have entire opposing student sections chanting like stuff at me, like trying to get on my ass. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even in the game.
You must have loved that though. You have to.
It was really different. It was like difficult because like, with the love comes the hate. And like, it's really easy to just like hone in on the hate. And like, I'm like 90% of it is love. Like people like show their gratitude and appreciation. They tell you how much they adore you and shit, but you only hang on to the couple negative comments,
How'd you learn how to deal with the hate over time?
Time. You just realize that these people literally don't affect your life.
Yeah.
Like they literally are just like behind the screen. And every now and then, like I also do go out and I have, what I'm saying? Like I do live in real world. Yes. And like sometimes you come across those people and like they'll troll you to your face, but like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what do they say? What's the worst one?
Worst one? I can't say it on here. But it's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like people, for the most part, it's all love. But like every now and then somebody will see you and like, maybe their girlfriend was probably liking too many posts or something and he took it the wrong way at a time. Or, what I'm saying?
Some
like
insecure
it'd be like that. Yeah, like I wouldn't want, my girl talking about some dude 24/7.
Yeah.
So I don't, you never know what it is that triggers somebody to say something. Maybe it's alcohol or maybe it's whatever. But yeah, it's always something.
So did you think like, okay, I can make maybe a career out of it? Or you're more just like, shit, little clout, little attention, like helps me build the brand. Like we'll see where this goes. And also, when did NIL kind of kick in?
My last year at Ohio State.
Okay.
That was the year when I realized I was like, oh, like there's like a real opportunity to like do something with this. To like I could be my own boss. I can live life on my terms, kind of for the foreseeable future. And it's been that way thus far.
Did you benefit from like was INL kicked in enough at that point where you could actually benefit from it?
It was kicked in enough to the point where like it was so new that like nobody knew how to regulate it.
Yeah.
And you know, the deals were coming like off like super often now, and I'm like with my brother on the phone like, bro, like they're asking me what my rate is. I don't know. He's like, bro, just throw out this number. I'm like, bet. And they'll say yes, and I'm like, damn, bro, we
like,
could have charged more, bro. And you know, so yeah, we just learned on the fly, and then eventually you settle in on like a ballpark.
And so you were managing yourself basically, or did you then?
Yeah, it was me and my brother, me and my older brother for the entire year.
Wow.
Yeah, I had like we had like I don't even know what you want to call him, like a middleman, like a third party group that was kind of like overseeing the NIL stuff that was going on with the entire team, and they were like looking out for me because they saw a lot of stuff was coming my way. But it was really me and my brother.
And then, so then you basically then are like, yo, I could do this full time for real. Because you already saw the race, you saw what so you knew like I can make this.
And then it was just like,
But I'm still a ball player.
Right.
Like, cause especially when I went to Ohio State to prove that I was a ball player on the biggest stage.
Right.
And it didn't happen that way. So I was like, I'm going pro to prove to everybody that I can hoop for real.
When you say it didn't happen that way,
I didn't get the playing time. I came off the bench my first year, and then the second year, I didn't. It was even less minutes.
for you, was that your biggest metric on how good you were? Or like, did you know, like, you know what, this is a system, trusting coach, and it is what it is?
I mean, basketball in today's world is about opportunity and fit. And my last year, we had EJ and Malachi, two NBA scorers.
Yeah.
EJ plays through the mid post, Malachi plays on the wing. And the way I play basketball, I'm a playmaker, I'm a creator.
Right.
We already got two of those guys. You add me to the equation, I'm not gonna do like the guy who took my spot, Jamari Wheeler.
He's a pick up 94 feet defensive specialist. He's a pest. He's gonna like cause turnovers, wreak havoc.
Right.
I didn't do that. Like
Right.
You're gonna give me the ball and I'm gonna make plays, but like Malachi and EJ do that better than me. So Jamari was better than me in other areas, and I recognize that. I'm not like, I understand this game, and so I was just kind of at that point filling in where I needed to, fill in the gaps.
And so you basically
it sucked. Like, it's a tough pill to swallow because like I want to be out there, but like
when you take yourself out of the equation and you look at it from like a coach's standpoint, it's like, I get it, you know?
was it harder even then when you started getting like attention on socials, because then you also like felt an added pressure of like, I have more eyes on me, and now I want to get more minutes to translate, and like all those people that follow me and that are excited, like if they're not watching me as much on the court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like people will see you on a TikTok and they'll be like, oh my gosh, he's getting all this love. Like he must be the best player on the team.
Right.
And then it's like, actually, no, he's just some guy on the team. But
right. Yeah, I mean, so then you wanted to basically, why you went pro is because you wanted to continue. Was it more just to prove to yourself, or was it to prove to others?
Both. It was more so like, I've been a basketball player my entire life. I'm not ready to just not be a basketball player.
Right.
Like, this is what I've done every single day since I was 10 years old. I wake up, I train. My entire life is dedicated to this game.
And you were probably like, and the money didn't really matter. I mean,
it was like I wanted to be a professional basketball player from the time I was 5 years old. Like, I have an opportunity to. I'm going to live out that dream.
Do you think part of the injury was like a sign that was like maybe like, or no?
I don't really.
You don't believe in stuff like that?
No, I don't really. Just it happened. I think maybe if I would have crossed over and stepped back instead of going to the hole, I might not have got injured.
Right.
But like, that was just a split-second decision, you know.
And then at that point, when you're recovering from the injury, when do you officially make the call? Like, you know what, quits. I'm going content full time.
When I was getting into it with the owners and the GMs of the team, and I was like, this is not worth it, fam, for me to just be out here in Cyprus wasting my time. Like, so had to go back to America and started training right away, like trying to get healthy. And then once I was healthy, I was training, and because I was still planning on going back overseas. And when it came time to it, I was like, is it worth it? Like, because you there's like there's a time gap with like social media stuff, and you really got to keep your finger on the pulse to stay relevant and to keep like reinventing yourself. And I knew like the flame I built was still hot, and in order to keep that flame going, I had to add fuel to that fire.
Right.
And if I went overseas, like it's kind of there's a chance that flame gets put out.
Did you like, were your teammates in Cyprus like homies, like, or was it very?
I still talk to them. Yeah, those are my guys.
It's
they
funny.
still hit me like, bro, you gotta come visit us in Cyprus. I'm like,
it's a very rogue place.
Maybe.
It's tiny country.
So dope though. It's
cool. It's beautiful. I hear
the beaches.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They pour their money all into those coasts.
Yeah.
But I was in Nicosia, in the city, inland. As soon as you get off those beaches and you go a little inward, it gets a little third worldy.
Yeah.
But it was dope, man. I loved it.
How long were you out there total?
I was there for 4 months.
Okay. That's actually perfect because you can like actually live a little bit differently, experience the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like, what are you doing on your time off? Are you guys just fucking around?
I mean, like, nah, cause like the time off was like, it's only so many things you can say. Like,
Yeah.
We were passing time just with the guys kicking it, Only so much you could do in Cyprus, So we just bonded. We bonded. Bonded a lot.
Did you so then when was the end of that 4 months?
That was right before Christmas. And it was dope because I got to come home, and it was like my first time being home for the holidays pretty much since high school. So it'd been like 6 years since I've been home for like Christmas with my like mom and dad and whole family.
Right.
Cause of COVID, I had to be in college over Christmas. And then the years prior, you only get like 3 days to go home for Christmas. Right. And then you're right back. Like I had to spend Christmas in a hotel lobby with my family before. So like this was the first time, like I was also 21. I could like go to the bars in Chicago and like do the Holly Jolly shots. It was lit, dog. Like I was on cloud nine. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I don't gotta worry about these folks over in Cyprus like hassling me, man. Like I get to just enjoy the holidays. It was dope.
Did you? So then after, right when you get back, more or less, is like content full time, Chicago, and then let's make it happen in New York.
When I got back, it was not that. It was like, all right, well, like let's just see where this goes. Let's just keep training. Let's stay ready just in case I get an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to get healthy first because my ankle was messed up.
Yeah.
And so that was just taking it day by day at that point. But I will say, like after the holidays, when like kind of like normal life resumed,
right?
And I was like, all right, well, I'm not playing pro, and I'm still on the fence with content. I'm still just like doing it for like fun,
right?
Like not really like being intentional about it. It was dark days in there, just trying to like, you fall into the monotony of like, just what do I have no purpose today.
What's the I mean, and I appreciate you like being candid about that, because I think that a lot of student athletes probably go through similar, not just student athletes, probably pro players, even people at the highest levels too. Like everybody kind of goes through it. What are the conversations like with yourself on how you can get yourself out of that rut when you were in it?
I mean, it's different for everybody. Sometimes it's like, like an epiphany moment. But like for me, it was honestly just being intentional about just trusting the process. Like I like give a lot of credit to who I am as a person because of all the life lessons I learned throughout basketball, and just putting like one foot in front of the other, trying to stack days and just keeping the bigger picture in mind was what it took for me. And again, like it's hard. Like you fall into that monotony of like not knowing like, what my purpose is today. You wake up with like a goal, and like I didn't have that for like a couple months, and it like lights a fuel under you depending on the person. And for me, I was just like, I gotta make it happen. I gotta take it upon myself to go make it happen. I'm gonna enjoy this summer. I'm going to, start to kind of ideate and plan out what I want to do moving forward, and then I'm gonna jump on it. So then I decided to move to New York, and again, best decision I made.
I heard and I saw it, but you have passion and purpose right there, which you just talked about. where do you get your sources of inspiration when it comes to both your passion and your purpose?
I feel like I'm just internally motivated at this point. Like I enjoy working and grinding and like putting projects together and creating art and just like expressing like my most like authentic version of myself. And you know, I've never like found like inspiration through like, I don't know, external factors. I don't know. I've always been like internally motivated. And I see like I saw the blueprint, you know? So like when I was in college, I saw like how like this content, this social media, like it's an ever evolving, ever growing world and landscape where like you never know what opportunity is gonna come next.
Right.
And like I've got the opportunity to act. I've been, you know, in a bunch of places I never thought I would be.
Yeah.
And just keeping that in the back of my mind just like helps me put one foot in front of the other.
So there's also, and I just want to take you back to college for a second, because there's a really dope platform that's it's called The Zone, and it basically what it does is it helps student athletes with their mental health and like on a day-to-day check-in, because obviously like that's a big thing. I'm curious for you, when you were both at Bucknell and Ohio State, what are the differences in terms of like the grind, but also like taking care of your mental health as well at both places? If it was different, if it was similar, if you noticed that like maybe because Ohio State is, you know, Ohio State, there's more of a pressure, and how did you hold on to and make sure you were good?
I never checked in on my mental health until after like the fame. Honestly, I never dealt with any mental health issues, like insecurities or anything like that. I was just a ball player. I was very secure with who I was, like, you know, did well in school because it allowed me to play ball. And then when I got this, you know, when I started getting a little recognition on social media, with that came all the haters and all like the external factors and stuff like kind of weighing on me. And that's when I first started talking to a therapist. And
in school?
Yeah, when I was at Ohio State, just to kind of help me like, you know, vocalize what I was feeling and just deal with everything going on. But like, for better or for worse, like social media is what forced me to check in on my mental health.
Right.
And it was, you know, everybody goes through roller coaster ride when it comes to that. And I feel like I'm in a good place right now, but it's been a rocky road, you know?
I mean, I think it's interesting too, and it's really real, because like, you know, we obviously like just met, but you can feel like you have such good energy, and I'm sure that like everybody that's around you like feels that. You know, I think
I forgot I had the water.
It's important. Is when it comes to like addressing insecurities or like being very real about how you feel, how do you go about it on the day-to-day? Because I think like, you know, when you're in the public eye, and I think it's interesting you said that before.
We're cutting deep on here.
Yeah, of course. But before you got like what you call the fame, like you said, you didn't really have anything.
Yeah.
But then after it created that. And I'm sure I hope if there's content creators or people that are thinking about getting into content or whatever it might be, like to hear for people that might have had something before, it might exacerbate it. And for you, it seems like it created it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, honestly, like my body is also a part of my image.
Right.
So like there's insecurities that come with that. So like I'm probably a little overly conscious of like how I look in the mirror now.
Right.
And I'm totally aware of that. And like, you know, I just try to like be aware of everything and just not put too much stock into it. So like try to not get too high on the highs, too low on the lows, and just like take everything at face value, be grateful, be appreciative. Like, cause there is a lot going on around me that like, it's easy to forget about when you're lost in the moment. And it's easy to like worry about the stuff that's easy to worry about.
Yeah.
And I got a great support system around me, like my mom, my dad, like my brothers, my real friends. That was one of the big reasons why I moved out to New York again, was like my people around me who like keep me grounded and like show me what like real love is and like what really matters. So like that's honestly like my advice to anybody dealing with like any mental health issues or like insecurities or anything. Like just find like security through others, like people that will help, you know, give you that.
What were the conversations like as you were like going through like the fame process? Like I'm sure like the fame people around you are hyped, they're like happy for you, but did you ever feel like there are people that are trying to latch on for the wrong reasons? Like how'd you approach that when it came to it?
I I don't know, man. I just try to keep it a buck. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I can tell when somebody's like, bro, you're not my real friend.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we could both put on the front right now, have a
Right.
good night out, and you know what I'm saying, talk
that's
about
not
how
your
we're
homie. That's not your
gonna
homie.
change the world, and then we wake up tomorrow and I'll probably never talk to you again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could just tell. Like you said, like, you can tell when somebody has good energy or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just I feel like you could just tell sometimes.
Do you notice that, like, I think I was seeing one of your TikToks or something where you're talking about like the vibe of New Yorkers. I forget exactly how you said it.
I probably gassed it.
But do you feel like comparatively to LA or even Chicago or whatever, that New Yorkers are maybe a little bit more realer, like that energy is at least more authentic, good or bad? Like
I feel like people in New York are not as like authentic as people in Chicago. To be completely
okay,
honest.
interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
But also I've had way more experiences in
Yeah, that's
Chicago.
true.
My experiences in New York
Yeah.
have also been in circles where, like, you know, not that like these people aren't genuine people, but like there's a clout ladder people are climbing.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and like my experiences being in Chicago, everybody liked me for me.
Yeah.
And like it was never even a question if you only want to hang out with me because of clout. You know, versus LA, everybody knows what clout does in LA.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like my heart's always gonna go to Chicago, but like I love the people I've met in New York. Like I'll gas it on social media. Like everybody's such a dick to everybody. But like honestly, like, you know, surround yourself with the right people.
Right.
And yeah, every city's gonna have good and bad. So
Do you see yourself out here for foreseeable future? Is it more like a career move? And
I definitely came out here as a career move. And then within the first couple of weeks,
dang,
I called my mom quick and was like,
That's not-
yo, it's gonna be hard to leave. Like,
there we go.
so we'll see.
We recruiting you.
Look, I've learned to just not put like a period on any sentence. Like,
Yeah.
nothing is final anymore. Like, opportunities come and go. Like, so right now I'm really enjoying being in New York, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I'm already looking at like an apartment in a new area. So, because
Where
the area I'm at right now, West Village, is OD expensive. Like, not worth it. Absurd.
That's the one
It's
thing
dope. Like, lots of coffee shops for your boy, you know. But like, fam, like I don't need to be paying that much for rent.
You and I are in agreement. I mean, bro, pull it to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, it's been here for probably a total of like 4 hours now.
All right, well,
and
we'll get you acquainted. But I agree. I mean, that is the downside of the city.
Yeah.
Is like, especially right now, it is like egregious.
yeah, it's OD. But like Lower East Side is smooth.
Lower East Side.
I was told stay away because it's dangerous, and I'm like, all right, bet y'all the New Yorkers. Okay, I'll go to West Village.
You're fine.
And
You hooped on the Lower East Side at the Immy Leon door. You know that court that I'm talking about?
I've had so many people hit me up and be like, yo, we got a hoop here, and I'm like, please. Nobody ever invites me to the
All right.
runs. Actually, my homie Shahir has. Appreciate you, dog.
Bro, there's a Sunday Washed Club. I'm gonna give
Okay.
him a quick shout out. That's actually, I think I might have texted you so he was a guest of mine. Now we're like homies. He's an assistant coach in the Nets. His name's LD Williams, former ball player. Played actually, I think it was like 10. He played at Wake.
Okay.
Then he played 10 or 11 years overseas. He played all over the place, and now he's coaching. And
He's with the Nets.
he's with the Nets. Well, so actually he was
The most, arguably one of those mid teams in the NBA.
damn
Mid. And I mean it in the actual definition of the word mid.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they're
not
like
ass. Mid.
truly mid.
Truly mid. Them and the
They were-
Bulls.
Yeah,
Actually, the Bulls are pretty damn bad now.
that's tough. I'm sorry.
I watch an absurd amount of basketball.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sure. But they have this thing called Sunday Wash Club, and it's a bunch of like old ball players.
That's a hilarious name.
And they play at this insane court. I went once. Now
Yeah.
I was just straight like every time the ball was coming out, I was just passing it off. You know, just like don't want to.
Not trying to step on any
Not
toes.
trying to step on turtle. I'm a team player, bro.
Yeah, good. You need those
No,
guys.
no turnovers. That's
Good. Playing defense.
That's yeah. Now I heard
Keeping
your defense.
possessions
I heard
alive?
your defense is. You were saying
Mine?
you said your defense was. Like I saw one video of you.
What? Yeah, especially in pickup. What?
You don't even. Oh,
You kidding me?
do you even run back?
I'll get back on defense. I'll go for like the highlight plays. Like I'll gamble a lot, but I'm gonna create offense for us. Like my defensive
Okay.
deficiencies
Make
will
up
be
for it.
combated on the offensive. end.
Oh, all right.
And I hang my hat on that.
So we'll get you in on a Sunday wash club. It's always Sundays at like 10 a.m.
Sundays, 10 a.m., dog.
I might be 11. Come on, you're up.
But Saturday is Saturday night, you know? I mean, I got you.
You
Bet.
One time.
One time, I got you. No.
One time you don't go crazy on the Saturday.
No, I mean, I don't even go crazy. But I like to
crazy?
sleep in and enjoy my Sundays. You give me like a late night run, I'm there.
Oh yeah, no. That's what I was telling him too. I'm like, yo, why can't you make this at night?
Yeah, I thought like all the men's leagues were known for being like after work.
So you know what's funny?
Like,
I did so one time, and I was out on a Saturday night, and I didn't drink too much, so I was like, I just want to be good tomorrow because I don't want to throw up on the court. And like, I will say the fact that you're done at like 1 p.m., you got your workout in, you got your
NFL
work
games
in.
start right then. Ooh, that's actually lit.
You know what I'm saying? Then you're at the crib, and you're like, I got my workout in, I got my ball in, and now we're just straight chilling.
Wash club sounds like my kind of vibe,
Yeah.
actually.
I've convinced.
All right, maybe I'll go out Friday, chill Saturday then.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, bet.
Do you still hoop as much as you'd like to?
No, definitely not as much as I like to.
Where are you playing? Like when you
I go to the only Lifetime in New York that has a basketball court, the Sky, where like the Black
sick
Ops
one.
runs
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
super sick,
Yeah.
and I just play with whoever's there.
Yeah.
Because it's the only time I can just like play on my terms without being like, yo, you got to be here. The game's at this time, and like with my schedule, everything fluctuates. So like, that's the only time I really get to hoop.
So what are you most excited about right now with where your career is at? Is it the content? Is it the modeling? Like you're doing all these
That's
things.
a good question. The modeling thing is crazy because that was another one that just like kind of fell into my lap when I came out here.
So this is completely new.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's the newest. Honestly, like this whole angle of things. I mean, it just I signed.
But you know you're a good looking guy. You're in shape. Like you know you could.
Yeah. Like
do the
I mean,
things.
I figured the love on social media would correlate, translate right. But I signed with Soul with this modeling agency back when I was at Ohio State.
Okay.
And I was all excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm a model now. Bet, like, let's see what happens here. And then I immediately went overseas. So it was like, I never actually got to like model.
Right.
And then when I came out to Chicago, I told you we went through the whole thing again.
Yeah.
But when I came out to New York, I hit up my agency. I was like, hey, like, I'm actually out here now. Like, you kind of want to see what we can do together?
Yeah.
And now that's got to take on a whole life of its own.
Damn.
It's been dope.
Yeah,
it's been,
for sure.
It's actually been super like different, like weird kind of. But dope.
But do you is there ever a concern that like, because you hear about a lot of like specifically for like women and modeling, like there's a lot, it could amplify insecurities or like, do you feel that for yourself as well?
Hell yeah.
As a, like, do you pay attention more on like how you look every single day?
I was in LA like a year ago over the summer, and a girl who's very prevalent in the modeling industry, like she's paved out a crazy career for herself.
Yeah.
She told me, when I told her, I was like, I actually signed with a modeling agency, but like I've never gone through with it really. And she told me, she was like, prepare to like hate your body more than you ever have before. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, like we'll see. And now that I've like done it for a couple weeks, like I totally understand why she said that. Like I've never been conscious of the way I walk before in my life. Like they're like telling me my gait is too wide. And they're like trying to teach me how to like walk.
You're walking like an athlete.
Apparently. I'm thinking like, you think my gait's messed up? Look at Zion Williamson walk, dog. Boy waddles like, but so I'm just like way almost too aware of how I look now.
Interesting.
And like, again, like that shit can eat you up.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. So I really do try to like not let it get the best of me and just talk about it honestly with my people and like understand that it can be a downward spiral. It can be a slippery slope for a lot of people.
Yeah.
If they're, they go down the wrong path. So like I get how it can do that,
And I mean, I think it's great that like you have even that person that told you that, because it probably already like you see, when you see a pattern, you can stop it a little bit before it becomes like something that's so chemically ingrained in your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. So
do you want, like, if you had to prioritize or are you prioritizing any of the different things you're doing? Like, do you want like the YouTube channel, for example, to be your number one baby?
I understand the long game of YouTube and like how you can really build community there.
Right.
And so I'm trying to streamline that process by having a videographer come out here full time and have him kind of like run the show on that, give him kind of like entire creative freedom there. that way I can spend more time, energy, focused in other areas. But I'm trying to really, the bulk of like where my like mental headspace is at is like trying to blend these two worlds of like social media, content, modeling, fashion with my deep appreciation for basketball.
Right.
And I'm starting to, like, there's starting to be some cool opportunities coming my way. But I'm starting to get into sports more, and that's kind of like where I want to start tailoring more content to.
Well, I also think like objectively, completely outsider looking in, like when people hear like sports and content, like they might roll their eyes like, yeah, oh, okay, there's a million things. But I think that your approach and you specifically in your experience, like you really have a very unique perspective on it where like you were like kind of in the beginning of like when TikTok became TikTok, right? And I think also like a mixture of your personality, which is like very like good vibes, energy, like wholesome, like entertaining, right? Mixed in with your experience. Not at the end of the day, not a lot of people actually really have that. So like you could really create your own little niche for yourself and like your brand around it. And I'm sure, I mean, you have, you know, amazing team and people around you from what we were talking about, but like I'm sure I hope that that's like in the back of your mind. Like you could really be that guy.
Oh, I hope so, man. I appreciate you saying that. I'd like to think that I have an interesting perspective and a unique one, just kind of like on life, you know, because of who I was as a basketball player. And then this world of social media just fell into my lap. And I'm trying to, you know, I don't want to force it. I don't want to like rush it. I've learned that like my success, like when I was trying to like, not necessarily that I'm forcing it now, but like I understand that like I'm taking it with a more professional approach. Like I'm really dedicating my days to putting out content. And like, but I'm not like forcing certain stuff to pop off. So I'm kind of just like showing my day to day, talking about what I want to talk about and letting the opportunities flow. And I don't want to like force anything to happen. I don't necessarily believe that like everything's going to come in the right time, but like, you know, I think that if I just keep playing my cards right, putting my best foot forward and being authentic to myself, like certain opportunities will come my way. And I hope that's the case.
Bro, it's like ball.
Yeah.
You can't force a pass. Like, you know what
but
I mean?
Sometimes hard work doesn't get rewarded.
It's true.
Like, you know.
And well, it's like ball.
Like
you know, like it's the same. And I think that only, you know, kind of going on what you're saying is like only you could really understand that too. Because for some people, if they haven't grinded on something for 20 years like you have, they can't understand how sometimes
you
like
never know when it's going to pay off.
Exactly.
You never know when that one video or that one thing you post, or again in basketball, like that one game, it took one game for me to have a good game in high school for a college scout to recognize.
Right.
And then one offer turns to 10 and 10 turns to 30. Like it's just like I apply that kind of ideology to life. You just never know. So just put your best foot forward and let the cards fall where they may.
What do you think's the biggest misconception about you?
Definitely that people think I'm like always putting on a front, like trying to like they always say like, bro, just be Jimmy. I'm like, what? Like you know, this is me. This is who y'all got. If you don't like it, scroll, dog. But I think that's the biggest misconception about me. People always think I'm trying to like put on a front. Like manufacture this like this person, this energy, this vibe, like. But I'm like, dog, kick it with me. Like I'm the same person I am on camera as I am right now. Like I like coffee, I like basketball, and I just chat about whatever's on my mind.
Do you think, and have you always been like growing up? Were you're a good kid, problem child? Like were you always just
a little best of both worlds?
Yeah,
you know, like. I had, you know, like a proper family. Like my dad would discipline me and like tell me right from wrong. But I also had, you know, my homies and like basketball culture. We're all like we're all kids, and like people in the NBA, they never have to grow up, so they're just grown kids, you know. So like you kind of carry that with you your entire life. So like you know, I was a little rebel at times, but like I also got good grades. Right. So I understood, you know, keep everything like never go the extreme in either way.
Another thing that I've talked about on other shows and honestly with other creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them, is like there's some people that think that this like creator economy like could be somewhat of like a little bit of a bubble, and you know like
what do you mean?
As in like the bags and the brand and stuff like that, like it could be a little bit like, it might not be like this in 5 years, right? And right now, a lot of companies are seeing a lot of value in putting it into creators and influencers. It could also be like this in 5 years, but there's some people that just think not.
I hear what you're saying.
You know, and I think I've had a lot of conversations with creators and thinking of like, how do I not just be reliant on the platform like a TikTok, but how do I create like the Jimmy Sotos brand, right? For longevity, so that like in 10 years, there could, if there is no TikTok or there is no, I mean, obviously there will be YouTube, but if there is no any of these platforms, am I still good? Do I still have a business? What do you think? I don't know if like, and it could still be too early in that process, but like when you think about longevity from that regard, like how do you see it for yourself?
I'm constantly trying to find ways to leverage everything I've created this far for like financial gain and security, financial security. But yeah, for me, it's definitely too early. Again, I don't want to force anything right now. I tried to force like a clothing brand and like a fashion label because I had success on like some fan merch that I dropped when I was at college, and I was like, damn, I made this much money off that. Like, I'm about to put a brand together. I'm about to, and then I poured a bunch of money into it, and then when it came to light, like I was probably trusting more people than I should have instead of just going with my gut on like certain things. And when it came to light, like I got the samples and I was like, nope, not doing this. And I've realized like in that moment, can't force it. So constantly like, sourcing deals and like trying to figure out where to, spend my time and energy. But yeah, like right now, I'm not totally sure how it's going to, take on different forms and where it's going to pivot. I just understand that like it's evolving always, and there's always new opportunities. And right now, it may be a bubble, and if it pops right now I have to pick that ball back up. No, I'm playing, but
back in Cyprus
for real. But no, I mean it's this whole world of social media is crazy. So,
what do you think is as being inside this world of social media is maybe the craziest aspect that people on the outside don't understand?
How much time goes into putting out these videos? Like, they see what you record.
Right.
When you're not recording, like the editing, like that process, unless like, you got like people doing it for you, like it takes a lot of time.
I know, it's a lot of work.
And, I'm very picky about my content. So like I do most of it myself, damn near all of it. Hopefully not for much longer, but there's a lot of time and thought. And like, once you put out a video, it's constantly like, all right, now what's the next video? So like people are always like, yo, like I want to get into social media. Like, what would you tell me? Like, if you're going to start, you got to keep going. Like, cause you got to keep putting out content.
How have you dealt with also maintaining, you strike me as somebody who has like a very good balance of like, I keep my private life to me. I do I publicly put what I want to put publicly, but like, when you first started blowing up, and even now I'm sure still like the DMs and people reaching out, like how do you, and how did you in the beginning and how do you now like take care of it in a way where like feels good to you?
I mean, I don't really look into that stuff. Like, it's cool when like people reach out and like show love, or like I just got into a freaking Michael Rappaport in a comment section just earlier. So like you just kind of realize like everything that happens on social media happens on social media, and it's not real life.
Yeah.
So I just it took me a minute, honestly, to like realize that, but just kind of like learn to separate those two things, I guess.
Yeah. 5 or 10 years from now, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years?
5 years. 5 years. Damn, man. Hopefully.
Manifest for me.
Yeah. Hopefully in 5 years, because the hardest thing about being a content creator for me personally has been people follow me. My demographic doesn't really know basketball that much.
What would you say is your demographic?
Females, girls.
And like ages?
It's like 18 to like 25.
Okay.
And then younger than that. And then like, I guess older women in there.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, it's like girls my age, if not younger.
Yeah.
And they don't really watch basketball, at least to the extent I do. But I know the game, and I'm obsessed with the game. And hopefully in 5 years, I found a way to combine those two worlds of mine.
Yeah.
In some regard, whether that's analytically or just for entertainment purposes. 10 years, hopefully, same, honestly. Like, I really do enjoy making content. Like, ever since I started becoming intentional about it, and once I stopped, like, just, like, spoon-feeding people what they want, like, me dancing with my shirt off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cringing every time I have to post.
Yeah.
Like, now that I'm, like, actually posting what I want, what I enjoy, and I'm a creative person, so, like, I love being able to create and express myself in a bunch of different creative, like, avenues. I just want to be able to keep doing that. And who knows if, like I told you, I got the chance to act. Like, who knows if that takes on a life of its own. I've been, you know, afforded opportunities to, like, make music, like, on the side. Like, I will never release the songs that I've made, but, like, who knows? Like,
why? They're not good? Bars are whack?
I mean, I got bars, but, like, the production is not where it needs to be.
Give it to a producer.
Put me on with a producer.
That's
me. Like, if opportunity comes my way, like, sure, let me see if I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I would act. I acted, you know?
Yeah.
Never thought I would be living in New York making content full time.
Crazy.
You know? So, like, in 10 years, I've learned now that, like, I really do love to create and express myself creatively. And hopefully it keeps going.
What would you tell like 15-year-old Jimmy?
Get tatted now. No, I'm just kidding. Low-key, as soon as I got tatted, everything changed. Maybe you'd have been famous at 16.
That's crazy.
Nah, I would have told 15-year-old Jimmy, I want to say live a little bit, but I also am not sure if I'd be where I am if I wasn't so, like, regimented and, like, disciplined at 15. Like, when I was 15, like, I was tiny, like, but I hit my growth spurt late. Like, I was 5'2" going into high school. 5'2" as a freshman in high school. Yeah.
What do you know, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'3". I'll say 6'4".
6'4", 6'5".
In shoes, but, you know, y'all be on my ass when I say 6'4". But, yeah, when I was 15, like, I was like, when I grow, like everybody that ever wrote me off is gonna, like, because I knew I was gonna grow because my dad was 6'3", all my brothers were tall. So I was like, nah, like, I'm going to grow. None of y'all know it. I know it. And when that time comes, I'm gonna be nasty. Like, so I was just so locked in on my craft when I was in high school that, like, I never drank, I never smoked, I never partied, like, never did any of that. I was just like, you know, like, you would see me in school and I would kick with my homies and play basketball all day. And but, like, so I wish I would have lived a little bit more, but, like, I'm living now. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's different now, you know?
Do you feel like you're still able to get that same discipline? Because you do. I think what I respect about you too is, like, you wanna live, but you also, like, the same way ball was your craft. Like, now this is your craft. This is your work. This is your livelihood. How do you still feel like you're able to have that same level of discipline and it translated over to the content?
Yeah, totally. Like, completely.
Do you have how do you do it? Do you schedule it out?
For my entire life, it was always a schedule, right?
Yeah.
So it was wake up at this time, work out, then eat at this time, then work out, then eat. Like, everything was, like, detailed. And now it's less of a schedule and more of checkpoints. So, like, because with this world, like, you never know when there's going to be an event or there's never an appearance. And, like, so, like, sometimes you got to be out late too.
Yeah,
so, like, I've learned that, like, I have checkpoints. Like, I make my content, and depending on what it is, like, that's going to take up a certain amount of time. And I hit the gym every day. And, like, I know exactly what I got to do every single day. It just depends. It fluctuates from day to day, like, when, you know what I'm saying? So, like, but, like, the fact that I grew up on, like, being a basketball player has instilled that work ethic in me. It was a direct application to what I do now.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, hopefully in, like, 100 years.
100. Honey bun.
Honey bun. How do you want people to remember you?
Oh, damn, that's a good ass question. How do people remember me? That I was, like, real, like, you know, it's a delicate balance of giving people what they want and, like, you know, being engaging and, like, you know, over dramatizing things, clickbaity stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, at the end of the day, like, I want my friends to, like, know that, like, because also, like, my friends are also, like, in high places too, and like, that makes for good content. It's like it's kind of twisted to me in my head a little bit, where it's like, I understand that by me associating with somebody, it makes me look better, and vice versa for them. Like, it helps their content and their engagement and their, like, brand themselves. But, like, that's, like, the social media side. Like, in real life, like, we were real. Like, it's real, genuine relationships.
Yeah.
So like it's actually always a tug and pull thing with me, because like, you know, you don't want people to ever think like you're exploiting them for content, because it's never that. But it's like you understand the value that like, you know, certain people bring to your brand.
Right. Yeah, and I think, I mean, look, it's you're right, it's tug and pull. It's like
You'd be ignorant to deny that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But I think it sounds like kind of corny, but like you got to have the radar, right? Like, do you feel the same way that the way I feel with you is like it's good energy, it's good vibe, it's authentic. Like that's, I think, so much part of life. Like both things can be true. Both things can be like, I want to make content with you, but I also fuck with you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
So-
like a lot of people that aren't on social media, it's an extreme in both ways. So if you're
Right.
not on social media, you can see it as like, oh, they're
Yeah.
just taking advantage of each
Yeah.
other. And if you're only on social media, you think that it's only a social media relationship.
Right,
You don't understand that there's like a real bond there.
And that's where being a human comes in, where you can
Exactly.
figure out
The gray
who's who
area.
and what's what.
Life ain't black and white.
100%. Well, I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
happy we made it happen through
Appreciate
rain,
you for the
cold.
coffee.
Yeah. Huh?
Appreciate you for the coffee.
Of course. Appreciate you taking the time, and I'm excited for you living city. And we got to get you on the Wash Club when we got to.
No, we do.
Because I was telling you, I think before, like my boy LD is good. 6'6", 220.
Yeah, if he's on staff with the Nets, you
Yeah, that's
gotta
what I'm
be
saying.
good to just
I
get your
know.
foot in the door.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. But thank you, bro. And it was
No,
great to
appreciate
meet
you
you.
having me.
And
This was dope. You're great at this, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank
Peeling
you,
back the
brother.
layers.
Appreciate you.
What's up, my dog? It's dope.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at felix.levine, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.